What's up, Disrupt Nation? So my name is Anthony Delgado, and this is another episode of the Disrupt Podcast. And today we have a special guest. Her name is Stephanie Saenz, and she is an award-winning marketer, passion for the digital space, has created award-winning products and marketing campaigns. Stephanie is a social media and digital marketing powerhouse who has won tons of awards and has gone viral for her social media and digital marketing work. Stephanie, thank you so much for being on the show. You've worked with tons of Fortune 500 clients and companies, and now you're actually taking your wealth of knowledge that you've created over the last decade and actually giving that to the general public. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about, I guess, how you got started and then what gave you the ambition to share your knowledge with the world?
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for having me. This is technically my first podcast ever. You're going to find out now when I explain. I'm a very behind the scenes person. I deliver, I over deliver, I create, have all these great accomplishments, but I'm definitely not like in front of the camera people. But I've had a good circle of digital marketers that have been really pushing me to do it lately. So I'm doing it.
Definitely. So I feel like sometimes like the magic makers are the quietest ones, right? Like we're too busy working to absolutely really be out there like, hey, look at me. Right. And I've been like that my whole career. So I totally relate.
Yeah, so absolutely. So pretty much my career started when I was 19 years old. So my marketing career, because technically when I turned 16, it was my birthday. My dad came home and said, I found you a job. So my first job was at the movie theaters, tearing tickets, filling out popcorn, running around, cleaning bathrooms. It was not fun and not cute. So that was my first job. But the nice thing about that is when I turned 18, I just have, I guess, a management sense to me. So I quickly went up the ladder. As soon as I turned 18, they made me a manager. And what happens at the movie theaters when you're a manager is that a lot of these movies, the companies don't want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in marketing when they kind of expect a movie's not going to do as well as they want. So I'm not talking about big blockbusters. I'm talking about more like mid-range movies. So what they do is instead of spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in marketing, they take like a $10,000 or a $20,000 prize package and they offer it nationwide to all the movie theaters to go into a competition of grassroots marketing. And you have zero budget, you have zero tools, and you have to put together a binder or portfolio of all the grassroots marketing campaigns and projects that you did with the movie that they give you, right? So my first movie ever was Shark Tales. I don't know if you remember Shark Tales, but it's like way
I
back.
Don't. It's probably one of those movies that was so bad.
Before your time. You're probably younger than me too. But yeah, so that was one of those definitely under the radar movies, not very super popular. But I know people are going to know, but so most of the managers there were men, and the men didn't want to get very creative. So I was the new manager. I had something to prove, and I'm like, oh, I'll take on this project because you had to do it. But I had never done anything with marketing before. I was always good with painting and school projects, but I never did marketing, right? So I pretty much had to figure it out on my own. I called up radio stations. I called up television stations. I cross-promoted with radio station, with restaurants. I did in-lobby promotions where I brought in a fish tank to the theater that was on display. We painted all the windows of the theater. Like we really pushed it, and I documented everything. I put it in the binder, and I sent it off to be judged. Well, while it's being judged, I actually left to go do my internship at Walt Disney World. So I actually got a lot of training when it comes to customer service and operations through them as well. And that was a great experience. I've loved working for them. And I understand why employees stay with them for so long, like regardless of the pay, they treat you like gold. So, and the benefits are amazing. So I'm doing my internship and I get an email that says, oh my God, we won. And mind you, nobody had ever won, not even an honorable mention before in the company, much less our district, right? So as soon as I got back from my internship, they said, hey, do you want this job? Like I didn't ask for it. I didn't know about it. And the job was the district marketing manager of 17 Regal properties from Key West to Jupiter Beach. So I pretty much went up and down the coast of Florida, teaching all of them how to do what I did and how to apply it to their theaters. And remember, this is back in the day when digital marketing wasn't a thing. It wasn't in existence. There was no Facebook ads. There was still MySpace, I think. Like, digital marketing was not a thing. But this is where my root and my base of marketing comes from, that I still apply it to this day, right? And so I went around and I taught them how to do it, and they kept winning and winning and winning. So we won second place in another one. We got honorable mention in another one, Running with Scissors, Chronicles of Narnia. Like, I did so many movies, it's not even funny. And then I would also just do regular teach them how to cross promote with their local businesses. So when you're a business and you're opened up and you want to really promote traffic, what should you do? You should cross promote with the people around you, and work together to make that traffic happen. And I taught them how to do that essentially as well, because that's how I got the free radio. Because remember, I have no budget to do these projects. So I never paid for my radio spots. I never paid for my TV spots, but I would give them movie tickets. And so the companies want these movie tickets. There's a dollar value to those movie tickets, and they'd give them to their employees as rewards, or they would sell them on air or do a raffle on air. Hey guys, call in and win 4 tickets to go to the movies, blah, blah, blah. So that's how essentially I did it on trade with zero budget. From there, I was able to build a portfolio that was massive. It was huge. Like my own resume type portfolio, right? So what I did was I took that resume portfolio and I went and found government jobs doing events and marketing. And I got those jobs. My first one was with the city of Miami Gardens. And I did all of the marketing for me and my other partner, which even to this day, we still work together on events and the same events. I haven't worked for them in over 8 years, and they still contract me out for their biggest $6 million event every year. But that's the relationship I teach my students, and that you have to build with everybody so that you keep clients long-term.
Hang on. Anyway, so you went from working in the movie theater to doing marketing campaigns for all of the movie theaters in the region to then straight subcontracting to the government, like for yourself. So at this point, I
was still hired as an employee at the time. I subcontract now, but at the time they fully hired me. I left Regal and I went to work for the government.
Okay, so you're working directly for the government.
Yeah, directly for the government. Great benefits, amazing benefits. And I was putting on events from as little as a $10,000 budget to $6 million budget. And one of them is really big here in Miami. It's called Jazz in the Gardens. It's about 60,000 people over 2 days. And we bring in people like Mary J. Blige, Robin Thicke, Kenny G, like big names like that. So I worked with them for about 4 to 5 years, working under them and gaining all that experience. So I put on, not only did I do the marketing for the city, the mayor and all the council people, but on top of that, I had to plan the events, do everything for the events, get the vendors, volunteers, execution, production, stage production, hire the art, music art, everything you think of when it has to do an event, I had to do it. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. But I've done every type of event you can think of: girls empowerment movement societies, state of the city addresses, big giant concerts in the park like that, Martin Luther King Day festivals, everything you can think of, I've probably planned it, right? And when you plan an event, you have to market an event, right? So my marketing career continues with that. I ended up leaving the city of Miami Gardens on good terms, obviously, because they still work with me today. But I got another opportunity at the city of Pinecrest, which is another city. So another government job. So here in Miami, we have what we call the Old Parrot Jungle. There's a new one, but this is the old one. The city has actually converted it into a culture arts center. So what I did was I planned all the events and did all the marketing for the culture arts center. And I did that for a while. And then I got stolen by the new Parrot Jungle. So the new Parrot Jungle, which is called Jungle Island, came and did a bidding war with them for about a week of, I'll give you a higher position. No, I'll give you a higher position. No, I'll give you more money. So that was probably the most stressful week of my life because you feel bad, because I always create amazing relationships with everyone I work with. So all of my bosses love me, to the point where even when I started working at Pinecrest, I got warned by HR saying, oh my God, this woman's crazy. Everybody who works for her like quits or gets fired, and she throws things and she yells and gets mad. She was crying when I was leaving. She loved me. I was her favorite. Like, I know how to build. Maybe that's why I worked in politics, because I know how to build
relationships, and that's important.
It's building relationships. That's key. I always say, all my students always ask, how do I get more clients? How do I do this? Well, guess what? It's building relationships, and they're going to refer you. They're going to spread the word. They're going to say, Stephanie's amazing. Whoever's amazing. And that's how it's the relationships. And literally I still work to this day with almost every one of my old bosses. So, and yeah, so essentially at that point, after Jungle Island, I kind of starts getting a lot of requests for outside contract jobs, to the point where it was so many that I had to become my own business. And that's when my entrepreneurship career started. And my main first client is a chain of spas that offer massage and facial. And I started with 3 locations, and now I'm up to like 12 locations for the franchise, on top of my gyms, on top of my med spas, on top of my realtors. I've been working with the franchise for over 4 years now. And so I have a lot of experience between Regal movie theaters and the franchise of working with what I call multi-location businesses, right? And you don't find that very often because it's different when you're marketing for multiple locations than you are for just one business. So that's what I specialize in, but I also do just one local business, the gym or realtor or whatever. But so yeah, that's my career in a nutshell.
Very cool. No, I think I'm super excited, and I could imagine why one company would want to steal you from another, because I'm already like, oh my God, she's awesome. When can I work with her? We're actually planning a huge event out here in Puerto Rico. It's called Disrupt Puerto Rico, and it's an entire week of festivals like music and tech and innovation. So yeah, the first thing I was like,
festival in Puerto Rico.
Yes. So the first thing I was thinking is, how do we get Steph to fly down from Miami, right?
So now I strictly do digital marketing. So whenever people contract me out at events, it's not cheap.
No, totally.
Because events are very labor intensive. People don't realize it, but the events that everybody goes to, the concerts and everything, they don't realize the amount of work that goes into it. To the point where now that $6 million event, they still contract me out every year for AEG Live. That's actually the company, which is a huge company. They do concerts all over the world. They're the ones who bring me back every year and they have me run the stage, getting up, making sure, because artists are high maintenance. So how do you speak to them to get them to perform on time? They're artists, so they think they're divas. And, how do you communicate them and make sure that your stage timing is happening and it's flowing? So like last year I had Trick Daddy and Salt and Pepper. We did like a throwback to the 90s. It was actually really cool. But keeping them on time was almost impossible, but literally I did it. So people don't realize how much time those events take and years of like a year in advance of planning, honestly. That $6 million event, when it ends, you're already planning the next one. So
that's awesome. So tell us a little bit more. How did you transition from working for the government, working for Regal, then working for the government, and the 9-to-5 life, to now being independent, a consultant, and entrepreneur? Tell us about that transition.
So when I was working for Pinecrest, the city of Pinecrest, I'm always, so mind you, during this whole time, I'm going to school. But so the stigma with marketing or with people in general is that you're not educated or you're not intelligent unless you graduate from college, which I agree to a certain extent. So I agree if you're a doctor or you're a pharmacist. Like, I don't want anybody doing surgery on me and you haven't gone to school or graduated.
Yeah, totally.
But when it comes to marketing, the problem is, and I'm not saying nobody get an education in this, but the problem with marketing is it's changing so fast that the schools invest so much money in curriculums and all of the material that by the time they've created it and produced, there's something new in marketing coming out. And it's just like this constant ball rolling. So I kept going to all these, universities, and I don't want to name them out loud, but all these universities and schoolings. And I started getting into the marketing courses, and I'm so discouraged because my career is skyrocketing in marketing. So I know what's going on out there when it comes to marketing. But then what they're teaching these students who don't have the career I do in the schools, it broke my heart. Absolutely broke my heart, to the point where after classes, I'd have to sit with the students in a round table just so they can ask me all the questions. And that's how they learned. So I decided at some point, I got my AA, but really I realized I was only going to college for my parents. Right? I love them to death. They always instill, especially Latin parents, they instill, you have to get an education or you're not going to succeed in life, right? Mm-hmm. I say in marketing, I disagree.
Well, but here's the thing. Let's actually rethink what education means, right? So you were getting an education. Get an education working with Regal. Get an education working for the government, putting on $6 million events. Like that's an education. And especially like in the digital space, things are always evolving. You have to continue to learn. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to go to school for 4 years and then I'm done learning. No, you have to continue to learn and evolve, right?
Right. So that's where like my digital career started. When I started really getting discouraged with my university, I started doing more investigation online. And this is when digital marketing was just starting. Facebook ads was just starting. It was very raw, very new, nothing what it is today. And I stumbled across Dan Henry. And I always give credit. Dan Henry is I was part of his beta course. If you guys don't know him, you can look him up. I don't know the website off my head. It's like Get Clients or something like that. But that's where I started. I started when he was still only making 6 figures, which is still a lot, but it's like $250,000 a year. And he was doing it out of the basement of his house. And I was part of his beta group. And I learned his ways of how to do Facebook ads. And that kind of started the wheels turning. Then after that, I kind of fell off a little bit because I still kept hopping jobs because you still have that 9-to-5 mentality in your head. But at some point, I would say it was a couple years ago, I circled back into his new courses and they were beefy and it was the new material and the new stuff. So when I decided to quit the university, I went to my parents because every time I'd see them, oh, what classes are you taking now? When are you graduating? I don't know how many times I got asked that, but I finally sat them down and I told them, I'm not going to graduate. I got my AA. That's all I'm going to get. I'm not going to get anything else. I'm taking that money because I paid for my college. I paid every dime of my college. I am taking that money. I'm investing in the university about $1,500 to $2,000 a month. And I am reinvesting it in these online courses. So all I was doing was switching my learning. I'm still going to a university. Nobody's going to give me a diploma at the end of the day, whatever. There's nothing hanging on my walls. No biggie. But I'm still getting that education, the consistent education that you need when it comes to digital marketing. That's what people don't understand is you can take a course today or you can learn something today. Or for example, I have my courses for my students, but if I put on my course and I'm not a teacher that keeps changing and updating my content, that stuff's going to be old in a couple years or not even relevant. So one, you got to pick the right people, make sure they are consistently updating you. But I learned that. So with Dan, he did that. He kept creating these new courses and advanced courses. And that's when I transitioned into applying it to all my customers and clients. And that's when my entrepreneurship grew. And then now it's grown to where my agency, I've put a stop to it because it's too much business, which nobody should ever say.
Good problems.
But I'm more passionate about teaching and sharing my information and sharing my wealth of experience and knowledge that I realize people don't have the same experiences because they're just getting off of their parents' couch at the age of 23, getting their first job, or they're just getting their feet wet when it comes to talking to clients and dealing with business owners. So I have that experience where I did the rough, tough, mud type stuff, and I'm sharing that with them. I've done the trials, I've done the failures, I've had the successes, and I see that I get very passionate when I'm speaking about it because I know if they apply the tools and tricks and tips and everything I do, they'll succeed 10 times more than I probably will. So my agency is slacking and now not slacking, but it's on hold. And now I'm working more on the teaching side of it, the coaching, I have like so many chats going on of people just constantly asking me questions about marketing and ads. And can you view this video every day? And I love it. So that's where my focus is turning to.
Very cool. And so you're working on a new course. It's about to come out. Tell us more about it.
Yeah. So I mentioned I'm literally running on 3 hours of sleep last night because I just get really excited. So I had actually given myself a deadline of next week to do it, but I started doing it with another digital marketer. That's another big thing. You have to network in this industry. Make sure you're making friends with the right people, you're networking, you're talking to people, because that's the only way you're going to grow and really learn. So anyways, I was hanging out with one of the other digital marketers, and we were just at it like all night, working, building my phone, building the course, putting the content in there. And it just became so much information that I was like, no, I can finish it. I know I can finish it. So I literally was up till 3 a.m. finishing it. And yeah, it's a monster of a course, which I'm really excited about because, and actually so many people have yelled at me today already. Oh, you're giving away the kitchen sink. I'm not worried because I have like 20 kitchen sinks to give away. So it's okay. Like this is already a lot of information for people to absorb. So I want them to take that in, use it, apply it, and see, okay, what's the next step? What's the next stuff I can apply? So that's what I've been working on right now, is that monster of a course. And today because I have a Facebook group, it's called Facebook Small Business Marketing Know-How, which I have business owners and digital marketers in there alike, because they can all really learn from the content I apply. And I give a lot of freebies away. I think I have a problem with freebies in my group. I give a lot of templates and documents, and I gave like this master Excel template I created for my franchise, which manages the budgets of like 11 locations all at once, and everything adds it all up together. So you literally don't have to do anything, but it makes you look like amazing to business owners, right? So that's what you want to do. You want to be the master at your craft, and you want your business owners to see you that way. I'll have business owners text me in the middle of the night because they know, because they have a question of something and they know I'm going to respond, or because I know the answer, rather than Googling it. So I'm working on that course. And today, actually right before this podcast, I did my first live and announced it in the group. And I mean, I already had over 100 comments and people excited and reactions and stuff. So I'm really excited that everybody's excited about it, because they've seen me speak and teach before. And they're always asking me for more, but I've never given more because I've told you I'm always a behind the scenes person. But I realized how excited I was getting about being able to share this information. So yeah, that's pretty much, it's a crazy lot of information. And so I announced today, because I really want to make sure this course is amazing, the best it can be. I opened up an early bird special rate, which is like insanely cheap for courses like this, only until Sunday, because I want this first group, what I'm going to call my beta group, to come in and really give me the feedback. They're going to tell me what was great, what was whatever, what could use more. And that's how I'm really going to make this. It's already beefy and it's already insane, but it's going to be even better because of those people I'm letting in this short period of time during the early bird, which literally expire. I have it set to cut off on Monday or Sunday night. So Monday morning, 1 a.m. So yeah, but that's what I'm focusing on now.
Very cool. So it's a video course. And you said you're doing a special price just until Sunday. And what are some of the things that people can expect to learn from the course, if they're not a member of your Facebook group, if they're just coming to you from the first time?
I'm actually going to look at it so I can make sure I'm reading it right. So what I did is I created mini modules, right? So when I've seen so many courses, I always buy everybody's course because I love to learn, as you've seen, and kind of make my own evaluation and test from it. And so I like the kind of a la carte option. So right now for the early bird, it's an all-inclusive. You're going to get everything in lifetime access to my course. But starting Monday, it's going to be a la carte. So I have right now 15 modules that you can pick and choose which ones you want to download. And each one is literally less than $100 alone. But so I have in this course alone, I have the killer scripts. So one of the things that happens as digital marketers is we can bring leads to people and to our clients, but the front desk is screwing it up. I want to watch my language. I don't know what I can say.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
The front desk screws it up. They mess it up. They say nobody's calling, or they're not converting the calls. So I tell you how to make sure they're converting the calls. The scripts that you can give your business owner and say, hey, I heard the call over my other process, which is the voice call recording, and this is going to make you convert, and this is going to make you sell. So I have like about I think there's like 6 or 7 scripts in there, which are front desk scripts, phone scripts, decline scripts. So if you're trying to sell something and they say, oh no, I can't afford it, or no, I might have to check with my wife, I have the scripts of how to react to each one of those declines. I have the how to turn free into sales scripts. I ran a lead generation program for one of my clients that brought them 1,500 leads in 2 weeks. The problem when you do those kind of campaigns, though, you're obviously running something for free. And the problem when you run something for free is the quality of lead that's coming in is that Groupon freebie type of person, right? So that's not great for long-term for the business owner. So I created the scripts of how you upsell those free people. So they would call in for this free item, and then you say, oh no, by the way, we offer this and this, do you want this? And there's a strategy behind it. So I have those scripts. So that's just one module. I have the client connect. Students are always telling me they don't know how to reach new clients. They don't know how to get them. So I have 3 easy peasy methods of how you can get new clients consistently. And it was to the point where my second method, I applied it and I was getting so many requests that I had to stop doing it. Because what happens is they end up reaching out to you, because there's a way to establish yourself and optimize yourself. And then they just start, reaching out and hounding you. So I have 3 methods. That's only one of them, but they're all in that module. The next one is client activation. A lot of students will tell me, okay, great, I signed this new client. Now what? What do I do now? They're freaking out. Like, we don't know how to onboard them. We don't know what to do next. So I literally have a template and a checklist process that I do as soon as I get clients on board, just to make sure it's a 14-day process. And it's a way to communicate with the client, a new client that you don't have a relationship with yet, so you don't know how to talk to them. This is a way to talk to them to make sure you're getting all of these items from them. And it make it super easy. Then the big one, which is the big one for all the digital marketers, right? Which is the build, what I call the build. This is the body of your business, right? So I've separated into 3 parts. The first part is Facebook ads, how I build the Facebook ads. How do I split test? How do I get quality leads? What are my results? Ads that work, ads that don't. Like, that one's really, really beefy. Then the second step is the automation. How do I automate everything so literally I can go to bed? People ask me all the time. They see my pictures and my stories. I'm really active on Instagram and Facebook, especially on my stories. They see me traveling the world. I'm always traveling. So everybody thinks I don't work. They're like, you make money, you pay your bills, but you're always having fun and you're going all over the world. Like, even last year I hit like 5 or 6 countries. I leave to Australia in 2 weeks for 2 months. Like, so they're like, how the hell do you do that and not run your business? Well, guess what? You automate everything. So there's a whole process on how to automate it. So literally I can set up something and then just kind of review it over time. Maybe if I didn't get to it this afternoon, it's okay, I'll check it tonight, kind of thing. So I have that series. And then the final is the 3-part, which is the funnel. The funnel is so key because I've split test so many types of funnels, sales funnels, to get them convert, that some people will tell you, hey, use ClickFunnels. Some people say, hey, use this program. It's funny because I don't do what the normal digital marketer does, is what I found. And I have proven results of why I do it differently. So I teach you that, and I give all the samples. The next is what, it's actually already a presentation I did 2 weeks ago. And we sold, Jeff Miller and I, he's great. He's another digital marketer. He has an amazing course as well. And him and I put together what we called a spa masterclass. So that spa masterclass was almost about 2 hours long. And we had over 100 people on the live, not including the people who purchased tickets for afterwards. And it includes every ad that I've done that worked, every which one that didn't, every ad for the holidays that I run, for the slow days that I run, all the funnels, all the strategies, all the landing pages, all the expert secrets, and why I keep getting results for my spas. And that's why they're my clients for years and years and years, to the point where I'm still getting new clients. Like, still, the call I had before you was my new client over in Texas. And you're getting a concrete case study that you can just insert your information and take that to a new spa and say, hey, I have proven results by doing it this way. I could do it for you. Like, that's gold. People don't know how to position themselves. So we created a case study so you can literally just take it and put your name on it and give it to your client, potential client. So the slides are in there and all the videos are in there. The other thing I did a couple months ago is, I don't know, most people, if you're in the digital world, you know what the MEC is, which is the Millennial Entrepreneur Community. Arnie Gitsky runs it. I think there's about 60 or 70,000 people in that community. He was in town. Andrew Crozy was in town, and Jeff Miller and I, we live here. So we're all digital marketers. We all have our successes and different goals that we like to do when it comes to digital marketing. We got together and we hosted an event here in Miami. We rented out a room. We had a cocktail hour, and we did it very last minute because we don't want it to be like a huge event. We were more just looking for the recording, and we recorded it for everybody in the community. And each one of us go through our strategies, our goals, what it is we were presenting. And that day I was presenting and showing how I got $50,000 and 100 members for a business before they even opened their doors. So I was like, so can you imagine if you could tell a client, hey, I just got you $50,000 and 100 members and you haven't even opened your doors yet? Like, that's insane. No business does that, right? And I explained in the video why and how that happened. What were the circumstances that made me do that? And it ended up being very successful. Then I have like a bot area. We all know that bots are the new thing. So I have a bunch of bot templates and everything for you in there. And then what I think is really cool, the next two are probably the coolest ones for me. I have a mind hacking, what I call mind hacking module. And what I found is that this is where I take my old school and new school in, that a lot of people have not taken the time to understand the business owner side of things, right? We just approach the business owners as the marketers, saying, hey, dentist, can you run this $21 deal for, teeth cleaner or whatever? And the dentist is coming back at you saying, no, it's too expensive, and they blow you off, right? That happens so many times. So what happens if if you had already gotten into the mind of the client and you know how much it costs them to provide that service? What is their front desk operations, like the back end operation side of things, so that then you can take that and you're going to approach the business owner saying, okay, no, we'll never run a $21 deal. Why don't we make it 35 or 55, knowing that that's okay for their business model? If you don't know the business model, you're doing things wrong. So if you just take that little bit of time to educate yourself on the business model, you'll be fine. So what did I do? Because I know so many different industries and I work with them, I sat them down and I asked them those questions. I wasn't pitching them or anything. I just asked them, hey, all this stuff, so that you have the interview with the dentist, you have the interview with the chiro, you have the interview with the real estate agent. So now you can take those videos and apply it to your future client pitches, right? Those are gold. The next one is the We Miss You campaign. And I just started doing this last week, and I've applied it to probably 5 of my clients, and every one has been amazingly successful. And I'm not going to go too much into depth about it because it'll kind of give it away, but I will say that it cost me $35 to do it for one client one time, because you're going to do it a couple times. It made the client over $600 in less than 24 hours, and I charged $250 for it. So, and it took me less than 25 minutes to do. I made $250 in 25 minus the $35 in 25 minutes, and the client made $600. Everybody's happy, happy, happy. So, so now I'm applying it to every single one of my customers. My other one is work smarter, not harder. So all the tools and tricks and tips that I have of how to work smarter, not harder. That's essentially it. I've taken a lot of time with meeting with businesses, even Facebook. I met with Facebook and went over a lot of stuff with them. And I've kind of found the tricks and tips to do your job faster and easier, which is why I can travel the world and have fun, right? The other hack, I promise there's only 2 more, but see what I mean by beefy? I'm like, I need a water, I'm short of breath right now, but that's what I mean by so beefy. But anyway, so the next one is and these are all based on successes. So if I made a module, it's because I've used it and I've succeeded in it. It's not because I'm just throwing something out there in the atmosphere. And I provide all those successes and results in all the modules. So there's no question about it. So this next one is what I call grow reviews, which I took my clients' average review online from 8 a month to 50 a month. That's insane. That's insane for SEO purposes. And maybe these businesses can't afford SEO or like any kind of massive stuff like that. But this is a way to kind of boost them up the ladder, because the more reviews you get and people talking about you, that's proof, social proof and everything, that this is what the clients want. And it's a really simple 3-step process that you do after a service is made. And I show you how to apply that to your clients. And then my last one is the retainer add-ons. So everybody always tells me, oh, I signed on $1,000 client. I signed out $2,000. Now I'm maxed out at $5,000. How do I make more money? So how do I make more money without having 50 clients, right? Because you can't handle 50 clients, but you want to make $50,000. But so what you have to do is you have to learn how to upsell your current client, and how but you want to upsell them on services Maybe you're not a graphic designer. Maybe you're not a web designer. Guess what? You're gonna do certain things so that you can still provide those services and profit off of them massively. And that's how you bring your retainer or your monthly up, right? By doing those things. And that's pretty much it for now. I have a coming soon area because I know as I go through my files, I'm just going to keep adding and adding and adding. So yeah, they're getting all of those videos, all of the documents, all of the templates, all of the files, the Word documents, the Excel documents, everything. Only my early bird people right now until Sunday are going to get it for $297. Later, this course is going to be at $1997 for everything. Or if you buy it a la carte, you can get what you want a la carte. But one of those videos alone, the masterclass, is priced at $297. So you're getting the entire course for the same price as what I'm pricing the one masterclass later on. So it's a great deal. I'm doing it on purpose because I want those value people who are going to come in and really give me their opinions. So yeah, that's it. Not
Definitely.
No,
I love it.
Yours.
It sounds like you've distilled all the knowledge that you've learned, both from taking a lot of courses and then from going out into the marketplace and applying what you've learned, and then coming up with your own strategies. And again, like you said, everything that's in your courses, it's tools that you've actually used out in the marketplace. So no, I love it. I love it. It sounds very authentic and very genuine and very applicable. So like you're the behind the scenes girl. So these are like the behind the scenes strategies, right?
Oh, that's a great name. I still haven't even named the course correctly, but I like that, like behind the scenes type thing. I'm going to come up with something like that. But actually, that reminds me of when I applied for the government job for Miami Gardens. I had the portfolio from Regal of all the events I had done, and I give it to them. It's massive. And she became my boss. Now she's my mentor, my sister, family, and everything. I've told you, I create these great relationships. She grabs and she's like, so I have to ask you, how much of this is actually yours? And I'm like, what? I'm like, all of it's mine. Like, she's like, no, I'm just making sure. And later, as we became friends or whatever, she ended up telling me it's because she was getting these interviews. She was doing these interviews and realizing people were like, she would have a portfolio and she saw a photo of a wedding that a person said they planned, and that was her friend's wedding that she knows the event planner wasn't her. So people, I guess maybe my naive brain never thought of that or thought anyone would do that, but they're just taking other people's stuff and saying they did it. And that's terrible. So yes, I apply that same thing where if it goes in my portfolio, it's because I did it. I had success in it. That's my old school mentality, let's say. Obviously you're always influenced by your mentors and your teachers. I'm influenced by Jeff Miller and Andrew Crozy and Dan Henry, my biggest mentor, who I did his webinar in a weekend last September, went to his house for 2 days straight. My brain was fried, but he sat there with you and went through your whole webinar, which, mind you, I have never used that webinar to this day. But the knowledge and tools that I gained from that weekend, from being able to be with a mentor one-on-one, like that was amazing. And I've obviously applied it ever since. I haven't applied the webinar, but but everything else that comes along with it, I have. So yeah, it's really, really important. I can't stress that enough to have proper mentors, authentic mentors, and somebody who's going to keep up with the times. I think that's the most important thing to me. So I know I'm going to put a lot of effort into it, because I don't like that I've purchased courses and that now they don't even apply. And they just make a new course. I don't really like that. I kind of think the way I would ever structure is make my course and have that one ever changing. And sure, I'll have advanced courses, but that's just for more one-on-one time with me, to be able to access me much more. So like more like the master classes. I really loved doing that. That was amazing. Cause I could answer everybody's questions live, and stuff like that. So yeah, I got off track, I think.
No worries. So I know we're running low on time. I do have one last question, and we ask it to all of our guests. What does disrupt mean to you?
So disrupt, actually, I use it as a term for my marketing. I don't say I do digital marketing. I say I do disruptive marketing. So the word disrupt to me means that you're stopping something while it's going. So if a ball's rolling, you're stopping it. Now you've disrupted the chain of motion going, right? So the reason why I use the word disrupt I say I do disruptive marketing instead of digital marketing is because I tell my clients that what I'm doing is I'm stopping people in the middle of their days while they're already on their cell phones, while they're already on their timelines, in their pockets, in their hands, and I'm disrupting whatever they're doing by putting my ad in their face. I've targeted them. I put my variables in there, and I've disrupted their day and saying, hey, look at my shit, or look at my stuff, sorry. So that's what disrupt means to me, and I actually apply it to my business as well. So I like the name.
Very cool, very cool. If people want to connect with you on social media, if they want to pre-order your course, where's the best place to do that?
The best way right now, and I'm going to add all the links to my social media pages at the bottom, but right now it's stephknowsmarketing.com. That's simple. I know marketing, so stephknowsmarketing.com. And that's where you can get access to the early bird, which I'm telling you it's going to be gone Sunday. It'll be much higher. It'll be there, but it'll be more expensive, so take advantage. But then I'll put all my social links as well there so you can connect with me because I'm on Instagram. I'm active. You can join my Facebook group because I give a lot of freebies in there as well, and follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn and so on.
Awesome. Steph, thank you so much for being on the show.
No, thank you so much.